Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today's training session. I'm Michelle Armiger, the Division Chief for the Maryland Department of the Environment Lead Poisoning Prevention Program, Lead Accreditation and Oversight Division. We're really excited to launch the online lead rental certification and accreditation training databases. It's going to be a new online system where most of the paper processes that you guys engage in are going to go away, and we're going to transition into the new system. We appreciate you guys taking the first step and attending the training. I'm going to turn it over to our developer partner, Sarah Gore. Mr. Bala is going to take over, and we will start the training now. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Michelle, and hello everyone. Good morning. I'm Bala, and I'm going to show you the application. I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, and if anyone has any trouble with the listening or seeing the screen, please post a message in the chat window. We'll just wait for a few seconds, and if you don't receive, then we assume everyone is good. I hope everything is clean, so I'll start. The application you're looking at right now is the online lead rental and certification accreditation application. And this is the new online application that will help in getting the accreditation licenses, scheduling classes, generating a training cards. Most of the activities as a training provider, like scheduling classes, managing the instructors, managing the locations, all that handled in this application. So if you log into the application, if you open the URL of the application, you will have multiple tabs on the home page. So if you click on home, you'll see the quick introduction of the MDE department. And if you click on courses, you'll see a list of courses that are currently scheduled by multiple training providers. All the courses related to the accreditation lead rental services. And if you click on help, you will see some topics that will help to create a profile, how to create a profile for a completely new user or students, or how to create a profile for a user who is already having an existing license or a training card, or how to create profile to manage of a training provider or of any contractor. So there are some high level topics which are listed in the help. You can directly click on those topics and download the PDF to go through the help. Coming back to the application, going to the page, here you'll see username and password. So if you have already created a profile, you can use these and log into the application. And if you scroll down a bit, there is a register button. This register button is only for the users who are completely new and without any existing licenses or without any existing training or any business related to this lead rental. So for those users, they need to click register and create their profile to get into the application. And if you see below that register button, there is a link that is provided. So this link is for the users or the training provider or the contractors who already have a license providing the services. They can click here and create their login profile to access their information. So as a training provider, I already have some training provider licenses providing these lead rental services. So what I do is I need to create a profile to manage my business in this online application. So for that purpose, what I will do is I will click on this link. You will be navigated to a different page where you will see to create profile for a user who is already having a license, or to create an authorized profile for managing a business. So if you click on Service Provider tab, you'll see an option to create profile for an existing business or training provider. So as a training provider, if I need to create a profile to manage my business, what I will do is I'll click on this Service Provider tab and I'll enter a part of my business name that is already registered and existing. And you can just click on search and see if your company is listed here in the results. If your company is not present in this system already, then you will see no results found. So if you already have an existing license and business related to these services, you enter part of your company name. You can identify your, the Gilmagro is a test company I created for training purpose. So I will select my company, my training provider company, and then I will proceed to create a login profile to manage my business. So here what I will do is I need to provide the name, like, or you can enter any person or HR or manager who is going to manage the business. They can create their profile giving their credentials. And on this profile page, fields that are marked as red asterisks are required. Fields that are not marked with red asterisks is not required, they are optional. So this is the personal profile section. Then I have the contact information section. So you need to provide the email ID for communication. And one important point you need to keep in mind is the email address you provide here will be your username for login. So after successfully creating your profile, if you need to come back and log in, this email address you provide here will be your username. So you need to make sure you give the right email address. And also any communication that happens down the line during business will be sent to this email address. So any email notifications or communications will happen to the email address you give here while creating the profile. And then you have the address details. And then you have the mailing address. So mailing address can be different. You can enter a different address here, or you have a checkbox. If the above address is same as the mailing address, you can select this checkbox. If the mailing address is different, you can just uncheck it and give a different mailing address. So for now, I will just select same as above. And now I will click on save profile. Now you will land on a login page again with a success message, and so application will send a temporary password to the email. So the email you provided in the profile creation page, that email will receive a temporary password. So what you have to do is you have to give the email address in the username, and then in the password you need to give the temporary ID or temporary password sent in the email. So for now, in training purpose, I'll just pull it from the backend. You enter the temporary password here and click on login. After giving the temporary password and username, you will log in, you will navigate into a reset password page where you will set up your new secure password. So for that, you have to re-enter the temporary password, and now you need to give a new secure password of these requirements. So this new secure password should be 8 characters minimum, one upper, one lowercase, one number, and should use any of these special characters. So the password should match all the minimum requirements. So for that, you just try to enter a secure password and then say reset password. After that, you'll again go back to login page, confirming that your password is now updated. So now you give your username. which is nothing but your email address. And now you enter your updated secure password and click on login. As you are using this application on your laptop or desktop for the first time, you need to register the device to this application. This is for secure purpose, to maintain the security on the devices you are using to access this application. And you will be receiving an OTP, a one-time password to your email again, and you need to enter that OTP to register your device. So for training purpose, I will again pull it from the backend. So I will enter that one-time password that is sent to my email, and you need to make sure you check this checkbox. So if you check this checkbox and register, down the line after a few days, if you come back and log in, you will not be asked to enter OTP. If you don't check and log in, if you come back again and try to log in, you'll be asked to enter the OTP. So if the device you are using is trustable, you need to make sure you check that and say register device. Now you have successfully created the profile, you registered the device, and you log into the application where you'll see the dashboard by default. So this is the dashboard, and by default, any user who creates that profile will have access to these 6 tiles on the dashboard. So one tile will give information about the training courses that are scheduled. One tile will give the information about the MDE exams that are scheduled and then that can be registered. One is about applying for the accreditation license. One is about to view the applications that are submitted or saved. And one tile will show the you already possess. And one is about payments if you have any payments to complete. Thing in mind, you should keep in mind is I just created a login profile. If I click on business profile here to manage this business, but the profile which I have created, if I click on personal profile here, you will see all the details that were provided during profile creation. What you just did is this login profile is created to manage this business. And what you just did is a request. So we will not auto approve or we will not give rights for this profile to manage this business, my training provider business. That should be approved from the MDE team. So after creating the profile, what I need to do is I need to reach out to the MDE team to mention that this profile is created to manage my business and please approve that. So only MDE team has the rights to give you the approval. So you will not be auto approved to manage a business, because for secure purpose, anyone can come and say they want to manage some random business, but it's not secure to do that. So it's always you need to request the MDE team that you created a profile to manage a business and they should give you the rights to do it. So right now, what I will do is I will request one of my MDE team member to approve it. And Becky, can you approve this profile to manage the business? Vicky, are you there?
Ball, I approved it. Sorry, I was I timed out.
Oh, sorry, no problem. So thanks. So now you see, I logged in, right? And I see only 6 tiles, and there is nothing to manage or schedule classes or manage my training locations or manage my instructors or employees of my business. So all those features will be provided for you only once that approval is done. So as this profile got the approval, you need to log out and log back in. And when you do that, you'll see some new tiles added to your dashboard. And those 3 new tiles are managing your employees or instructors, managing your training locations, managing your scheduled classes. So these 3 will be provided for you once that approval is done to manage the business. And if you go to business profile, you'll see the business which you are managing. And if you click on edit or view, you will have the rights to change or update their primary phone, if you have any website or any other profile information related to that business. So you'll get an, rights to update this information. And similarly, the personal profile can also be updated here. You can change your contact information and residential address. And this is about the personal profile that is created, and the business profile is about the business that you are managing. So if you have a manager, that manager can have their own personal profile, and the same manager will have access to the business to manage the training classes. And in the personal profile, if you see, you cannot change the first name, last name, date of birth, and email address. And if you have provided the SSN, that can be updated only once, that can be entered only once. So if the SSN is entered and saved, that cannot be updated. So all these key fields can be changed only by the MDE team. So if you need to change your email address, which is nothing but your user login, or if you need to update your SSN, if you need to update the last name, you need to send a request to MDE team to change that. Only rights you will have is to change your contact information and mailing address and residential address. So the key information will be saved and can be updated only by the MDE team member on request. So going back to the dashboard, now I have the rights to manage the business. So most of the time as a training provider, I will have some training locations. So I'll just click on select button here to go into this tile. If you already have any existing locations present in the system, they'll be auto-populated here. And if you need to change an existing address, you can click on edit or view and change the address. If you need to add a new physical location for any upcoming trainings, or if you have any other headquarter address or the main office address to be added or listed here, you can click on add new location. And when you click on that, you'll go into this page where you will select for which service provider is this location for, and who is the attention of, and the location of the address, and then just say save. So that address will be listed here in the list of locations. If you think any of the addresses that are present is not correct anymore, you can delete them by clicking on delete. Or if you need to change the attention of, or if you need to update the street, something is wrong here, you can just click on edit or view. You can just change or update that location details and save. So this is how you will manage the locations of the training provider. I'll click on dashboard to go back to the dashboard. And if I need to add any instructors or employees of my company, I'll click on select in manage employee. So I'll click here. If there are any existing employees in the system already, they will be auto-populated here. And if you need to add any new employee or new instructor, you click on add employee. And one important thing you need to remember is any instructor which you are going to add to your company should be existing in the system. You cannot create a new record here through this screen. It's just linking an existing user to your business. That is what you're just doing. So you need to identify that person using their accreditation number, or if they have already created a profile in this system, you can identify using their email address. So if they already created their profile in the system, you can just search using their email address. And if you are able to identify, these two fields will be auto-populated with the details. So let me search. If the user is not created a profile in the system, you'll get this message. Let me try to find. Okay, so if the user is already there created, you'll see the first name, last name auto-populated, and you need to select for which company this user is an employee or instructor, and you can just give a title to that employee or instructor. And here is a checkbox. You want to give this checkbox is about, do you want to give rights for this user to manage this business? Manage in the sense what you are currently doing, like updating the employee list, updating the locations, scheduling classes. All those activities are part of managing the business. So you want this user to be just an instructor and not an authorized user, then you don't check it and save. If you want this user should also have access to manage your business, then you check this box and save. So for example, I don't want this user to be handling my business. I'll just uncheck it and save. And you just reconfirm here. And if you see, I have added a new employee to the list of this company. And if you see, this user is not authorized for corporate actions. And if you need to change it, you can always click here and you can change the title, or you can start giving the authorization. You can update it, or if you want to terminate that employee, you can click on terminate employee. So that employee will be taken out from that list if you terminate that employee. So if, for example, I want to give authorization, I'll just say save, yes. So now the information of the employee is authorized. And say, for example, this person is no more with the company, you want to terminate, you can click on editor view and say terminate. Yes. So that employee will not be part of the company anymore. So this is how you manage the employees or instructors of the business. So now we managed the locations, we manage the employees or instructors. The next important thing is how to schedule classes and how to manage the classes. So for that, you click on select here. You will land on manage classes screen, and by default, if there are any existing classes that are scheduled, they will be listed here. If there are no classes that are scheduled, you'll see no schedules found. So now there are no classes that this company or this provider has scheduled. So we'll start afresh. So we'll click on add a class schedule. You will land on a screen where you can schedule class. And by default, you'll see the training provider name. Instructor is optional initially for scheduling classes, but if you already know the instructor, you can select. If you don't know the instructor, you can leave it empty. This is optional for scheduling classes. And in the course, you'll see the list of courses pre-populated. So I want to schedule a course for Visual Inspector Initial. So I'll select this. After that, you will see session type. Session type is it online, virtual, or classroom, or is it both? If you select classroom, then location is required to save the class. So if you select the session type as classroom or online and classroom, you need to provide the physical address of that location. And this list, which you see here, the 3 line items, are coming from the locations you have added in the managed locations. If you don't have any locations added, this list will be empty. So if you see this list empty, means you did not add any locations. So you have to go back to dashboard, click on manage locations, and you should update the location details. Then only you can select from this drop-down. So I already have some locations added. So I will select one location for this training. And the language is default to English. And if you have any Spanish, if you select any course related to Spanish, then the language will be default to Spanish. So it's based on the course you select. Then you have the start date when the class is scheduled, say 12th January at 11 o'clock, and is again 12th January, say 5:30. And if you have any registration limit, you can update here, like max is 25 and minimum is 5. They are optional. It's up to you. If you want to enter, you can enter, or you can leave them empty. Similarly, course price is also optional. If you know it, you can enter, or you can leave it empty. And then class description, you can, this is also optional. Now I'm saying add class, and you just reconfirm it. Now you'll go back to class home and you'll see this new line item added. So this is a class or course I just scheduled for this training provider. This is how you can schedule multiple classes. So if you need to add one more class, you just click on add a class. And if you know the instructor, you just select the instructor and say I'm doing instructor initial and say this is only online. So as this is online, I don't need to select any location. So I'll just provide a date and then say add. Yes. So one online class is added and I have selected the instructor. One classroom class, I am not sure who the instructor will be, I left it empty. So this is how I schedule new classes. And say, for example, I want to change the schedule time, or I want to change it instead of online and classroom, I want to change it to only online. So if you want to update the price or any information here, you can click on this icon. If you click here, you will land on the edit class page. The previous information that is saved will be auto populated and you can update it. So if you want to change the instructor and if you want to change the schedule, say instead of 12th, it is 14th, you can always change the schedule. And if the price is changed, you can change the price and update. Yes. So now I have updated the training schedule, I updated the price. Similarly, if you need to cancel, the same thing, you can click on this button and click on cancel class. So right now I'm not going to do that. And to your right side, you will see another icon. This will show the number of students or users who have sent a request to attend this class. So if you initially you just scheduled it, no one has registered for it. So if you click here, you'll see no one is sent a request. So I'll just go back to dashboard. I'll just rewind what I just did is I managed or updated the physical training locations or office addresses. I managed the instructors or employees of the business. I scheduled classes. I have updated the class details. So these are the three major activities the system will allow you to do for the training provider. So I'll take a quick pause here, and if we have any questions on the topics that we just covered, we can quickly discuss and then we'll move forward.
Bala, I don't see any hands raised or any questions typed in the question box.
Okay, so then we'll just move forward. Now, as a training provider, I have created the classes. I have scheduled the classes. Let's assume I'm a student now. So I'm a student. I'm pursuing a visual instructor license. So for that, I need to attend a class. I need to attend exams. So what I have to do is I should come to this application. I should register and create my profile. Once I successfully create my profile, so I have a test profile already created as a student. Let me just log in as a student. I log into the application. Once I log in, by default, I will see these 6 tiles. So my purpose here is to get a visual inspector initial license. So for that, first thing is I have to find the courses that are provided by different training providers. So for that, I have to click on select training courses here. And you'll land, or the student will land on the page where he can see all the courses that are scheduled from today to the future. And if you see here, you'll see the course name, you'll see who the training provider is, what type of session it is, location, phone, training provider contact details, the price of the course, and the schedule of the course. And they can look for all training providers who have scheduled the classes. And they can also search based on, okay, I want to look for only visual inspector. They can select a specific course and search for it. And they can identify who are all providing the classes for this visual inspector initial. Say, for example, this student is interested to attend the training course scheduled by Gil Marco, training provider. Then the student has to click on register. When they click on register, system will show a pop-up show to reconfirm that register. And one important message they need to know is if they need to pay the fee, they have to contact the training provider directly. This application will not handle or take payments related to a training course scheduled by a training provider. That is handled outside this application. So student has to contact the training provider to pay the fee and get it approved. So what we do is we just send a request. If the student confirms, okay, yes, I want to register. What will happen is for that student, the button will change to withdraw. And that student, if they click on my training, they will see, okay, this student has, means I as a student has sent a request to this training provider to attend this course and the status is pending. What I have to do is I have to reach out to this training provider, do the payment so that they can approve my request. So as a student, I have sent a request. Now I'm going back as a training provider. I'm the training provider who scheduled, who is managing the business, right? So I log into the system. I'll just go to manage classes. I'll see, did anyone send a request? Yes, I see there is one request for this course. So if you want to see who sent a request, you click on this button. You will see, okay, for this course on this location and instructor, this student has sent a request on this so and so date and time. This is the student email address, this is the student contact number. And initially, this is not approved. If you have, if you remember, the student saw the status as pending. So training provider, me as a training provider did not approve that request yet. So I have to approve it. So what I have to do is I will contact the student, I'll get the payment done. Then if everything is looking good, you click on this button to approve. Now, as a training provider, I have approved the student to attend this course on this location, at this location and so schedule. So this is how you provide approvals for all the registration requests. So any student, any user who goes to these training courses and who registers for the specific course, that specific training provider will see this registration and manage classes. So this count will keep on changing based on the request you receive. So you come to the class, you click on the registrations, you'll see who are all requesting the course. So let me log out. Let me log in as a different student. I'm also a different student. I want to attend some courses. So I'll just click on training courses. I am also interested, Gil Marcos training provider, this course on this schedule and payment. So I'll just send a request that I am interested to register for this course. So as a student, I'm done. I have sent a request to register for the course. Now the training provider who is managing the business, say they log in. If they go to manage classes, they will see the count change from 1 to 2. If they click on the registrations, they can see, okay, there is one more request that is not approved. So you can contact that student or the interested user and get the payment, and then you can approve it. So this is how you can see the registration request, and this is how you can approve the registration request for a specific class.
Bala,
Yes.
we have a question, actually, one of the training providers. Will training providers receive direct notifications, i.e. emails, as well as website notifications of registrations? And what do we do if someone does not provide us with contact information and or payment?
Yeah, so training providers will not receive any notifications if someone has sent a request. They have to come and look here for the registrations for that specific course. So you will not receive any auto notifications if a request is sent for a specific course. And if someone does not provide us the contact information, so anyone can, means whoever is creating a profile, they can create profile only with contact information. No one can create a profile without contact information. So if you have any registration requests for a specific course, you will have the contact information of that user, because without this information, they cannot even create a profile to send even a request for registration. So, and another thing, as I mentioned before, right? If you did not receive, let me say, another student has logged into this system. They created a profile, they log into the system, and they are interested in this course offered by Gilmar Pro training provider. They sent a request that they want to register. So student sent a request. Now I log in as the training provider. As a training provider, I go to manage classes. I'll see, okay, there are 3 registrations for this course. You'll open the 3 registrations and you'll see there is a new request. You will contact this student or user. And if the payment is failed, you will not approve it. You will leave it as to be approved. And these users, these students will get email notifications when you approve. Like if you click on this and approve, right now, I'll just cancel. This student will receive an email that this training provider has approved you to sit for that class. When they send a request, they'll just receive that the request is pending and training provider is yet to approve it. And when you approve it, they'll get a approval email notification automatically. So if the payment is failed and if you think there is something wrong, you don't want this student to attend this course, you don't approve it. So if they don't have the approval email, means they are not eligible to sit for the course. So the next question, can the student make a payment when registering? Yeah, so as I mentioned, the payment for the courses is not handled in this application. So that has to be handled separately outside by contacting these students directly. We will not take or handle payments for training courses. So you always need to reach out to these students to get the payment for the course. I hope I have answered the question. All right. So moving on, let's assume now that you approved these 3 students to attend the course. So these 3 are now approved to attend this course. Can we expect registrations not through this portal? So the point is, any student who is pursuing a license, they should come and register through this portal. If they register outside this portal, what will happen is when they try to submit an application for accreditation, they will not have any training information, any exam information to apply. So you need to direct your students or interested users to go to this portal and register in this portal, because if they don't do it, if they register outside this portal, they cannot apply here online, because when they start applying, we will automatically pull out their training cards, will automatically pull out their exam scores and link to those applications. So students are required to register through this portal. They can register outside for your internal tracking, that is fine. But for any applications, those students should register in this portal. If they miss doing it, they will not be having enough information or required information to even apply through this portal. So that is important. But as I said, if you have a different website where you handle your own registrations, you can continue doing that. But that information cannot be pulled into this application. So those students should come here and register the courses, because we generate training cards through this portal. I will show how to do it. So that's what I'm going to do. So as a training provider, I'll log into the system. I'll go to manage classes. Say, for example, this course is completed today. So the course is done. The next activity you do is you give or update the attendance log for that attendees. So for student one, you just need to update the attendance log. You click on this icon. You provide the attendance log. Did the student attend? Yes. Is the identity verified? Yes. The student passed the course? Yes. What is the score? Say any number and say update score. Once the score is updated or attendance log is provided for a specific student, you'll see icon turns to green and a new icon is created under training card. So if you click here, we will generate a template, a training card template. And on this template, you'll see the student name, student date of birth, which accreditation category course that student has attended. If you see here, it is Visual Inspector Initial. That's why you see VII. Expiry date of the training card is auto-populated. Who is the training provider? That is also auto-populated. So only thing you have to do is, before generating this training card, you need to provide the photo ID. So you need to have the digital photo ID scans, passport photos of the students. So for now, without adding the photo, we will not allow you to generate the training card. So photo is required to generate the training card. So you can click on that icon, select the student photo ID. I just took a sample image, white image, and I just said generate card. Now you see the training card is turned to green, means this training card is generated for this student. And you can always open the training card and download it. So when I click on that green icon, a training card PDF will be generated, that will be downloaded, and you can print this training card and give to the trainer. And if you see, this is the training card number. You can see all the other details. You can print this photo ID, this training card, and give it to the student. And when you print the training card, if you think the photo is not clear, if the image quality is bad, you can click this purple icon to change the photo. So you can request for a new photo with a better quality. You can change the photo and then update. And then you can click on this green button to download that updated photo training card. And this purple button will not be active to change forever. It is active only for like 1 week. So if you need to change the photo, if something is wrong with the photo, you can only update only for like 5 days. After that, this will be removed. You will have only option to print it. Similarly, I'm just updating the training attendee information for the other student. if the student has failed, the training card icon will not be displayed. So this training card will be displayed only if you select pass. So this is how you generate the training cards, you print the training cards, and you can hand it over to the students. Now, if you see as a training provider, the class is complete. I have updated the attendance roll. I generated the training card. So when the student, now I'm going back as that specific student into this portal, log into the system. They can click on select here and they can click on my training and they can see now a training card number is added, status is approved, and the expiry date is added to this. So a student can see their training information here in my training. So all this information is important to be present in this application so that they can apply for license directly from this portal. If they don't register in this portal, they will not have this record in this portal. If they don't have this record in this portal, the required information to apply for a license will not be available. So students need to make sure they go to this portal and have registrations and have the training cards generated through this portal. So we'll see there is one question from Gina. Do we no longer have to send a physical copy of the card? So Becky, do you like to answer that question?
Training providers will still have to issue the training cards.
But they're asking if they have to send a physical copy of the card.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you covered it. The trainee cannot print the card.
Right.
They can only see their card number.
Yeah. So I logged in as a trainee. If you see here, if I go to my training, I can see only my card details, but I cannot print the card here. Only a training provider can print the card and give it to the student.
So are they saying that is the question they're asking is, are they going to send the card to MDE or to the trainee?
I believe they're asking about sending it to the trainee.
Okay, that's fine.
Gina, clarify that if you were not.
I hope we answered it, but I think we'll see a new question if it is not clear. So as a student, I registered for a course of a training provider and the training provider has updated my scores. Now I see a new training card is generated by this training provider. So even though this is not much relevant, I just want to show you that as a student, once I'm done with the training, I have to take an exam. So for that, I have to select this button and I have to go and view all the schedules of the exam. So these are third-party exams that are scheduled by the MDE team, and below that there are instructor exams that are scheduled by the MDE team. So I can select the exam that I'm interested in or the schedule, and I can, as a student, I'll just try to select that specific exam. And as I need to attend a visual inspector exam, I need to give my training information, else I am not eligible to even register. So for that purpose, I need to select the training that is eligible to attend this exam. As a student, if I did not take or register for respect to training, I will not be eligible to register for an exam. So as a student, they need to do everything through this portal to apply. So that is critical for them to know. So now I have registered for a specific exam and I have my training. So by having this information, now I will have all the required information to apply. So if they miss doing this through this portal, they will will not have all the required information to apply through this portal. So that is important for the students. So moving further, I'll just go back as a training provider. So I'm done managing the instructors, locations, and classes. The next major activity is to know what licenses I already have. So to know what licenses as a training provider I already have, you can click on My Accreditations. So if this training provider already have any existing licenses, they will be displayed here. So if you see here, this training provider has a training provider accreditation already, and this is the start date and end date of that license. Status of that accreditation is approved, and this is the icon that will help you to download that certificate. If you select this certificate icon, a PDF will be downloaded, and if you open that PDF, you will see that certificate, that this is to certify that this training provider is approved for this accreditation. This is the expiry date of that accreditation, and this is the accreditation number and the approval date. So you can download these certificates anytime by coming to this tab. You can access these digital certificates anytime by navigating to this tab. And if you don't have any existing licenses, this page will be empty. You'll see a message that no licenses are available. So this is how you can always come and view your existing licenses and their statuses and their expiry dates. And if you have any existing applications that are sent and in processing, you can select My Application Style. And here, as a training provider, I already sent a training application, and that application was approved, and that is why I got that accreditation number. So I can see the application that was submitted. I can see the status of the application, and I can even click this button to view that application that was submitted. But right now, what I will do is I will show you how to apply for accreditation. Say for a training provider again, I will show how to do that. Before that, I'll take a small break for 5 minutes. Like before the break, we can answer any questions that are pending. If not, we can take a 5-minute break and come back, and we'll continue with the training on applying accreditation. I see there are no additional questions that are not answered. So if everyone agrees, we can take a small break and come back at 11 o'clock. All right.
That sounds good. Thank you, Bala.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone is back from the break. All right. Could you please raise your hand if you're back online, just to make sure. All right. We have Kara, Jamie. Then we are waiting for Tamika, Gina, and Dixie, and David to confirm. Yeah, please raise your hand if you're back online. Thanks, Devana. Thanks, Dixie. I think David, Gina, and Tamika are not back yet. So, Devana. So we'll just give one more minute and then we'll get started. Thanks, Gina. I think only David and Tamika did not respond. All right, then we'll get started. Now, what we will cover is how to apply for a training provider license, accreditation, or a course accreditation. As a training provider, these are the two main applications that you submit. So I logged into my profile, and now if I plan to apply for a training provider license accreditation. So for that, I need to click on apply for accreditation select button. You will land on the initial apply for accreditation program page. And the first question you'll be asked, is it a renewal or is it initial license? So if it is an initial license, then you have to select no. If it is for a renewal, you select as yes. And one important note that is mentioned here is if you need to apply for any accreditation application, your TIN number or SSN number is required. So you need to make sure that in the business profile of the company, SSN number or the EIN number is updated. If if it is blank, then you will not be, excuse me, allowed to apply for accreditation. System will throw an error that SSN is missing. Please go ahead and update the profile before submitting. So to be as a precaution, you need to make sure you go to the profile and make sure SSN is there for added to the business profile. Second thing, for applying for a training provider license, you need to have physical training locations added to the profile. So you need to make sure at least one training location or a physical location is added to your location profile. Else, training provider location application, training provider application will throw a validation error that physical locations are missing and you cannot proceed. So you need to make sure the required details are added to the profile. Now I'll just move forward and say I want to apply for an initial license. I'll click on go. Now I will land on the application type screen and category. So I will select application type as training provider. And now the category for this application is only a training provider. So I'll just select that one category. And now I need to identify for which company I need to apply for. So I'm eligible. This profile is eligible to manage Gil Marco company. So I'll just try to enter the name, and system will auto populate if they identify based on the letters you enter. And system will auto populate the company name for which this profile is eligible to manage. If you type any other company's name, we will not populate because this profile is not eligible to submit for any other company. So only the companies which this profile is eligible to manage, if you enter those matching letters, we will populate that. So I'm applying for this company. So once I enter these letters, system will auto populate the name. I will select the appropriate name and then proceed. Now I will land on the application page. And if you see here, we have the general application information where you have the applicant full name, then SDAT number, telephone number, email address of the company, contact, tax ID, and street address and mailing address. So these will be auto populated from the business profile that is present in the system. You cannot edit it. This is auto populated from the business profile. Then if you scroll down, there is application type section. So as I selected as initial, this question is auto answered as no, because as it is an initial, so logically I don't have any accreditation held on this category. Then if you scroll down, you will see the application for training provider and the fee involved for this application. And then you will see the list of instructors applying along with this application. Here you will see the list of all employees you have added in your dashboard under manage employee. So if you have your managers, HRs, instructors, all those employees that are listed in your manage employee will be displayed here automatically. And if you think some of the employees are not required to be part of this application, say for example, I don't want this administrator to be part of this application, so I can just click on remove. And I'll just keep the employees or instructors that are part of this application. And then I'll scroll down and click on public listings. This is something where you can select if you want the training provider to be listed in the public. You can select yes or no. And if I say yes, you need to mention which address to be provided and what is authorized representative name. And if you have any website, you can enter the website. If you see this name and website will auto populate based on the profile, and you can always change it if required. And then if you scroll down, you will see training locations and courses offered. Training locations again will be auto populated from the locations you have added in the manage locations. So in manage locations, I have added 3 locations. So those 3 line items are populated here in the application. So if you think these 2 are not required to be part, you can just delete them. I want to keep only these 2 addresses. I'll just add them to this application. And then I will select all the courses which I think I'm offering. Say only these. You can select all, or you can select only the courses that are offered and applicable. And then if you scroll down, you will see the documents. So if you have any supporting documents, you can select and choose those files and attach to this application. And you can add the comments about the document and click upload. If you see here, the document which you have selected is listed here. You can download the document by clicking on this icon to see what is attached, or you can, if you think this document should not be part of this application, you can click on delete. So you can add any number of documents you need to add and upload. So this is a supporting document upload section on the application. And then if you scroll down, you have the confirmation. And there is an option here that if my training provider company is a non-profit, I can select this. So if you see the fee is changing to 0. If I'm not a non-profit, then I have to pay $300 fee. So for now, I'll just say as non-profit, and then I will mention the representative name and the title. And I'm agreeing to everything that is mentioned. And I can take 2 decisions. Say I'm not yet done. I have more information to be added or attached. I don't want to submit yet. So what I will do is I'll just save it for now. So I'll click on save application. Yes. So now the application is saved. and I will navigate directly to my list of applications, and you will see the new application that I have saved is listed here with the status draft. So I can log out. I'll just come back after 2 days and I want to reopen that application, submit. What I will do is I'll log into the system. I'll click on my application select. I will see the application that is saved before. I'll click on this button to reopen that application. I can just scan through what is provided here, and then if I need to change anything, I can change or uncheck. If I need to attach more or remove anything, I can just update, and I can say continue. And after you click on continue, you will see a review page where you can review the information that is provided here on the application. And if you think something needs to be changed, you can again click on edit to change anything again, to update or add something to the application. And if everything is good, then you can click on continue. Yes. And I can review everything again. If everything is looking good, I just click on continue to payment. So as this application here I'm submitting involves a fee of $300, you will see the button continue to pay. If you have checked this non-profit, let me just go back and show it to you. Say if my company is a non-profit training provider, assume. So what I will do is I'll select this. I'll provide my non-profit tax exempt number. I'll just say continue. Yes. On the review page, if I scroll down, you see the total fee is 0 because I'm non-profit, and there is no continue to payment. You'll see submit. So you can directly submit as there is no payment involved. So I'll just show the scenario where I have to pay the fee to submit the application. So I'll uncheck it and continue. So now I have to pay the payment. So I'll just click on continue to payment. Now I will see a review. Okay, this is the application category and the amount I need to pay is $300. When you click on pay now, you will navigate to our e-payment portal. So you will land on the payment portal and you can have options to pay by card or check. So I'm currently using the check method and I'll select that and make payment. And in this training environment, I'll just give some dummy data. And continue. And you will see the details review and then you can say confirm. If the payment is successful, you will land back on this successful page showing all the payment details. And these transaction information will be sent out to your business email. Means whatever you have provided, you will see an email confirming the same for your records. And now, as it is successful, you click on My Application. You will land onto your My Applications list. And if you see, the status is changed from submitted to draft. So, sorry, from draft to submitted. So this is the application which I just completed the payment for, and it is submitted now to the MDE team to process. You can always come back here and see the status of your application. What is the status? You can always look for it. And if you need to see the application or if you need to see the communication between you and the processor, you can click on this green icon. If you click that green icon, you will see the application that was submitted by you. And now you will see a new box saying processing box. And in this processing box, if you click this arrow, you see these messages and attachments. So if the processor who is processing your application has any questions regarding the documents or the information, they will post a message here and you can read it. And you can communicate with the processor through this processing box. So for now, I will request MDE team member, Vicky, can you just pick this application and try to send a message? Okay. So now MD processor has picked your application and they have sent a message. So as a training provider, I'll come back after a few days. I want to see what is happening with my application. I open my applications. I see, okay, the application is in processing status, means somebody has picked it. Now you just open this, this application by clicking this icon. And you can see if there is any message requesting for any additional information. So you can click on this button and see, okay, MDE team processor has requested some information that is not provided in my application. So I see that message here. So what I can do is I can attach by clicking on this tab. Okay, I want to provide a course outline document. You can add the notes about the document you are going to upload. And then you can choose the file and upload. So now you have attached the document that is requested by the processor. And once you are done, you can send a message, requested documents are provided. So you can do and see the communication between the processor and the applicant in this processing box. And you can see all the attachments that are attached to this application as supporting documents here in the attachment. And all the messages or communication can be viewed in the message box. So this is how you can reopen and view what is happening with your application through My Applications. So you can always go to My Applications, open the application and see what is happening. If there is any new message or about this application, any new request, you can see in this processing box. So now let's assume you provided all the required details. Now I will request MDE team to approve it. So Becky, can you approve this application? So I'm just waiting for confirmation that the application just submitted is approved. Okay, let me just processing. I think. I think it is still in processing, Becky, but that is fine. I have an example. Once the application is approved by the MDE team, you'll see the status change it to approved. Okay, so if I open a processing application, I don't see any option to print my certificate. I just see the application, I can just see the communication happen on this application. But if I open, okay, now I see it is approved. Okay, now the application is approved. If I open this application now, you see a new button, print certificate. You will have an option to print this digital certificate of your approved accreditation. If I click on print certificate, a PDF of your digital certificate is going to be downloaded. You can open that and you see this is a certificate that this training provider is approved as a training provider. This is the expiry date. This is the accreditation number and this is the approval date. So you can access this certificate through My Applications and opening the application. Or as I said before, you can go to My Accreditations And now you see a new license number is added to your list because a new application is approved. So a new number is, as this is new, it will be a new number. And then you can click on this green icon to download the certificate for that specific license. And you can see when it is expired, what is the status. And you can always click here to download the same certificate. So it is always accessible through my accreditation style.
Paula, we have a hand raised.
Yes,
Oh.
Tamika has a question. Yes, Tamika, go ahead. Let me see if the question is.
No, that was me returning from the break. I've been back, but I just saw that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you. All right. So as you have seen now, I applied for a training provider application and I saw the status of my applications and I saw the communication happen or the requests while processing the application. And once it is approved, I saw the print certificate here, or I have seen my license list updated here in my accreditations. So this is how you apply for accreditations. You communicate or provide while processing the application, and then once it is approved finally, you can view them in your My Accreditations. Similarly, as a training provider, you apply for course. Like I want to apply for an initial course accreditation. You select no. You select for course accreditation application category, which course. So each course has its own application. So you have to select the course and then which training provider. I'll type in and select and proceed to create. And then you land on the course accreditation application and you can see, okay, I'm applying for a training course category, inspector course. And here you'll see information about all the details you need to provide for this course accreditation. And you can accordingly select the document types and upload them, attach them to the application. So all the required documents need to be attached. And then you can mention the representative who is submitting the application, and then you authorize the information is true and you continue. You'll land on the quick review page. If you think everything is good, then you can just submit. As course accreditation, there is no cost involved, so you just submit. Now you will land on the My Applications page automatically, and you will see, okay, I applied for this course accreditation and the status is submitted. So as I said, if any processor picks this application, you will see the status to processing. Then you need to go and see if there is any communication or any request from the processor regarding the request here in the processing box. So this is how you submit. You look for the communication on the application and you look for the approval status there on the My Applications. And then once it is approved, you can go and see in My Accreditations. A new line item will be added. So you can see here, this application is just submitted. That is why it is not yet approved. That is why you don't see any number and no expiry date, and you see the status is submitted. So this is how, as a training provider, I create a profile to manage my business. And once I get an authorization approval from MDE team, I get access to these additional tiles to manage my business, where I can add or manage the instructors or employees. Same with the training locations or physical locations, and how to schedule classes and how to manage the registrations and how to update or approve the registrations, how to update the attendance log and generate training card. So this is how you all the activities as a training provider is done through this portal. So I think those are the topics I plan to cover. And one additional information is, if you need to know about how to manage employees, we provided a help button. You can click on this help to see the topics related to that specific tile. So you can click on the topic and download this PDF and read through that PDF to understand how the tile works. What are the activities that are done in this specific tile? Similarly, the classes, if you want to know all the topics on managed classes, you click on help button here. You'll see the topics related to these managed classes, where you see how to schedule classes and then how to manage and generate the training cards. So if you click on specific topic, a PDF will be downloaded. A PDF will be generated and you can download and refer it. So this is how you can always use these help buttons to understand those specific tiles, how to navigate between and to understand like how to apply for accreditation. So if you click button here, you see multiple topics. So how to submit training provider, how to submit course accreditation, contractors, instructors, individual accreditation, supervisor accreditation. So based on the topic you click, a respective PDF will be open. So you can read through the PDF or you can download and refer it later. So make sure you go through these help files when you try to access this application and play around in this environment, training environment. So this is where I will end my training and I'm open for questions. So please go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
Paula Tamika has her hand raised.
So
Yes.
on the link that of the site, I know it's not going to be active and ready to use until December. Can I still go ahead and create my business, my real business profile, or no?
This is a training environment and you can access this training environment even now. We will provide the URL, but actual live site will be available in December. That will be communicated through MDE portal or email. Once that is live, you have to redo everything. So you have to create the organization profile again and you have to set up everything again. The URL which we are giving now is only for training purpose. The information you do or profile you create will only be for your training and not the actual live site. So I'll just post that here. 1 second. All right. Any other questions? Are we going to receive a copy of this webinar? Yes.
So you are going to email the webinar?
I don't know. MDE team will communicate. I don't know how the means of communication is.
I'm not sure how it will be transmitted to you. It may be something we have to post, but we'll let you know. This is our first time using this webinar software, so it should be made available to you somehow, though. That's our hope.
Hey, Becky, just something that we've done in the past is once the training has completed, it processes a video that I download, and then I send that to Department of IT in Annapolis and ask them to post it onto our YouTube channel. And with that, they will also make it closed captioned. So it's in compliance with our ADA requirements.
Oh, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions? I would encourage everyone to go into the training link that Bala provided and, you know, try to create a profile, test things out, see, you know, if they're working. Let us know if you encounter any bugs.
When does
So
this going to affect again?
so the beginning of December is when we're looking to go live at this point, unless something changes.
No, Becky.
And I have one point to reiterate here. So when you try to access this application and when you try to create a profile to manage your business in this training environment, as I said, even in this environment, once you create a profile to manage your business, you need to request MDE team by email that you created a profile to manage your business and it needs to be approved. So even in this training environment, once you create that authorization profile, you need to send and request MDE team to approve it. So it is not auto approved. So until they approve it, you will not see those tiles to play around between the instructors, locations, and classes. So make sure once you enter or create that authorization profile, make sure you communicate and request MDE team to approve it, even in this training environment. So that is important. All right, and we'll just wait for a few more minutes and see if there are more questions. Okay, Kara has a question. If I understand properly, what we do now, we'll have to read and answer. Yes, that's correct. All right. And Jamie has a question. What email do we send the request to get approved? So Becky, do you have any email which training providers can use to communicate for the approvals?
Bala, she's answering right now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, you can email myself, Carol Robinson, and Devana. Everybody should have our emails.
You like to mention it there in the answer, or let me see if I can. Are you entering the email addresses, Becky, or shall I send it?
I was just gonna give the names. Just everybody here should have our emails.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, please post the questions. All right, I think you answered a different question with the names. Okay, let me just re-add it. All right, any other questions? All right, we'll just wait for 1 more minute, and if we don't have any other questions, we'll end the session.
Thanks everybody for attending. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to the possibilities and, hopefully more efficient practices, that are quick and easy for us to accomplish. So thank you very much. We appreciate your help.
Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good one.